Hey everybody, and welcome to today's episode of the NBA Ask Aaron Anything podcast. Today is the first ever Rapid Fire Friday. What does that mean? Quick ones, baby. Quick answers to short questions. I'm going to burn through these, baby. I'm going to burn right through them. I'm going to go fast. I'm going to go quick. You better listen fast or you're not going to be able to stay. I already slowed down. Well, sometimes you have a plan and that plan goes to shit, and then you improvise, and that's what I'm doing right now. I'm still going to go fast, though. These are real quick questions, real quick answers, and it's the first ever Rapid Fire Friday. If you want to send me questions, send them to me on Twitter, at Aaron Herzog, hashtag AskAaronNBA. That's a cool way to do it. You can send them on Facebook, post them on my wall, send me a DM, Instagram, send me an email. aaron.herzog@gmail.com. Send it to me face-to-face. However you want to do it. If you're listening and you like what you're hearing, give me a review on Apple Podcasts or on YouTube, however you're listening. Give me a nice little comment and a review, and I'll give you a nice little comment and a review as a human being. And that's it. That's the plugs. Let's get into the show. First question comes from Drew Whitney Morgan. He wants to know what Dennis Smith Jr.'s ceiling is. What is Dennis Smith Jr.'s ceiling? A lot of comparisons to Steve Francis coming out of college when he was coming into the league through the draft, which is kind of makes sense. He's a somewhat inefficient, explosively athletic guard. Looks like he could use a little polish, but is exciting in the way he plays the game. Came out, had a high usage rookie season, very high usage. The Mavericks basically didn't go to anybody else but him last year. They were like, here you go, figure it out. And he kind of did, but now they have Luka Doncic. He's going to be running the show along with them. They hope they can play together. They hope they can turn things around in Dirk's final season. But what's his ceiling? I'm going to say he is a starter version of Lou Williams. He is a little bit more of an explosive athlete. Lou Williams ain't dunking like Dennis Smith Jr., but that's what he's going to do. He's going to be able to change the pace of the game. He's a guy you go to kick things into a different gear when you need that. He's the gear shift guy. He would be great coming off the bench. I think he'll be fine as a starter as well. But Lou Williams is one of the best reserves in the league. He's sought after. He's always a trade chip depending on what team he's on. I think Dennis Smith Jr. maybe a little bit less of a journeyman, but that's the type of player that he's going to be. He's going to be able to come in, kick the offense into high gear, provide some energy to a team, score a lot. He doesn't play great defense, but he'll be explosive. I think that's his ceiling, like a Jamal Crawford with less shooting, like a glorified six-man who actually starts. I think he'll have a really good but not great career. That's what I think. I think that's his ceiling. I don't know if he goes much higher than that, but it's pretty good. Let's go to our next question. Mark Dames says, yay or nay, James Harden will never be the number one option on a championship team. It sure doesn't seem so. I'm going to go with the nay on this one. Will James Harden win a championship? Possibly. Will he be the hands-down number one option on that championship team? Doesn't seem like it. Last year would have been the year, I think. They were close to beating Golden State. Probably would have beaten Cleveland. Could have happened last year, but at this point, I'm going to go with nay, Mark Dames. I'm going to go nay. He may have to, Houston may have to do something crazy. Houston may have to bring in somebody. They tried to trade 4 draft picks for Jimmy Butler, and Tom Thibodeau was like, why would I do that? I'm going to be fired. I'm not going to be around here in 2023 I'm not going to be here 7 years from now. I may not be here 7 months from now. Why would I trade my best player, second best player, most important player for a future that I will not be a part of? That's why you don't make your coach your GM. That's why you don't put him in charge of basketball decisions. Because he's just like, I'm going to do what's good for me right now. And no way. But Timberwolves are trying to win now anyway, which seems like a tough thing for them to do in the current situation that they find themselves in, with Jimmy Butler not really wanting to be there, Andrew Wiggins not really playing basketball well, and Karl Anthony Towns lost in space. It's a team that a couple years ago everybody really wanted to like, and they have fallen hard and fallen fast. But I don't know, maybe James Harden goes somewhere else. Maybe he's part of like a three-headed monster that wins a title, but he's not like the hands-down number one option. Like, who would you say is the number one option on Golden State right now? Is it Curry? Is it Durant? Who is it? Who would you say is the number one option on that team? It goes back and forth. So if, say, you replace Durant with James Harden, that team plays the same way. Just theoretically, is he the number one option on that team? No. Does he win a championship? Yes. So I'm going to say no. James Harden, at this point in his career, will not be a number one option on a championship team. Mark Dames, another question from Mark, back to back. He wants to know, in a vacuum, is Franklin the dog a good mascot? And I'm going to say no. I'm sorry. Franklin is not a good mascot. I kind of get what they're trying to do. They let kids design him. He's a mascot for kids, but there's nothing memorable about Franklin the dog other than the fact, the 76ers mascot, by the way, if you don't know, other than the fact that he's weird looking, big blue dog, doesn't really make sense. Philly has already, they already have the Fanatic, one of the best mascots of all time, a prankster from the Galapagos Islands, a crazy sort of dragon creature that is weird and awesome. And they've just debuted Gritty, take the internet by storm, a dirtbag. He already has a character. What's Franklin's character? Gritty's got a character. He's a dirtbag. He does ridiculous things. The Fanatic, he's a prankster. He humps around. He's got a big belly and he swings it around sexually. That is too sexual for baseball. The way that Fanatic is gyrating his big green hips in fans' faces. People are going to get horny. You don't want horny people at baseball games looking at the Fanatic's big green belly swinging around. People love that dad bod, that dad Galapagos Islands furry dragon bod. He's putting everything together. He's got that big long tongue. He's got the dragons. People love Game of Thrones. He's got the dad bod. He's a nice cuddle. He's a prankster. He's a funny guy. People are getting horny for the Philly Fanatic at baseball games, because what else is there to do at baseball games? You don't watch the game. You drift off. You watch the mascot. You bounce a beach ball around. You get real horny for the mascot. Gritty, he's a dirtbag. Everybody loves him. What is Franklin? Is he a childlike dog? I mean, everybody hated hip-hop, the horrifying-looking rabbit, but at least he had like a thing. At least his thing was horribly trying to capitalize on hip-hop culture in a weird, appropriating way. And he was like an acrobatic mascot. So at least he had a thing, even though it was bad. And he looked like a nightmare. What is Franklin? Franklin, pick a thing. Be like a founding father or something. Here's what you do. Be Franklin the dog. Look the same way you do. But then be like Ben Franklin. Come out with like sayings. Early to bed and early to rise makes a man healthy, wealthy, and wise. Shoot free throws, layups, and shots for the three. Shots worth three. That's how you score efficiently. There you go. That's Franklin the dog. That's, Poor Richard's Almanac, but Franklin the dog. Pace and Space is the name of the game. The NBA's changed will never be the same. Something like that. Big men do not play the way they used to. Back to the baskets. A dinosaur fool. That kind of rhyme. I don't know. You must spread the floor and play pick and roll. New skills you need for your career to go. I'm trying. I'm improvising these off the top of my head. Just let me be here. 76ers, if you're listening to this, let me be Franklin the dog's writer. I promise you, that first one was pretty good. The score efficiently one, the, free throws, layups, and shots that worth 3. That's how you score efficiently. Come on. I can come up with more gold like that for Franklin the dog's Poor Richard's Almanac. And that would make him a pretty good mascot. You can give him a pen. He could hang out by the Liberty Bell. He could not sign the whatever Ben Franklin didn't sign, the Declaration. I don't know. The Constitution. I don't know. One of those things Ben Franklin didn't sign, right? I don't remember. It's been a while since I've seen Big Daddy. Is that the movie that references that? That's my history from Big Daddy. Next question comes from Mallory Rhodes. She wants to know, are there any openly gay basketball players? Not in the NBA, Mallory. WNBA, chock full of them. There are openly gay women professional basketball players. I don't know of any in the NCAA. The first American quote-unquote major sport athlete to come out of the closet was an NBA player. But there are no current NBA players who are out of the closet. Why could that be? Maybe, small chance, there are no gay NBA players. Bigger chance, it's because masculinity is a garbage fire and fans of sports will hate you. There was an NFL player who got drafted a few years ago and was openly gay, and people were shitting on him because they're like, how can he play sports if he's gay? He's been playing sports his whole life. Come on, people. What if he stops in the middle of the game to give another player his phone number? Come on, people. What if he's just so attracted to another player that he can't play against him? What if he lets a guy dunk on him just so he can have his nuts in his face? Come on. That's not nice. People think like that. And they're stupid. That's my political message of the day. If you don't like gay people, you're stupid. That's the kind of stuff you get on Rapid Fire Fridays. Mallory, if an NBA player comes out of the closet as gay, you will know about it. It will be a big story. And there will be takes on Twitter that you will not like and I will not like. But we just got to get past that. How do you combat hate? Do you combat it with love? Do you fight hate with love? I'm starting to question if that's the right way to go. I want it to be the right way to go. Am I going to regret this stream of consciousness talk? I don't think so. But Mallory, no. There are no openly gay players in the NBA. Thanks for your question. You'll find out when there are. It'll be big news. Joe Faina wants to know, is Steven Adams an all-star caliber player, and what about his beard? I'm going to start with the beard, second best beard in the NBA, next to the man who will never be the number one option on a championship team, James Harden. Steven Adams has a great beard. He's got a great accent. He was voted the toughest player in the NBA by the executives. And then he was like, who cares? I don't get any money for it. So he's one of the coolest players in the NBA. Is he an all-star caliber player? He's like a really good star caliber player. Like, I don't know if he'll ever make an all-star team, but he's always going to be one of those really good players. He's averaging like 15 boards a game so far this year. And then like 12 points, and he plays great defense. He's one of the top 3 centers in the Western Conference. I'm trying to think. Anthony Davis, Nikola Jokic, Steven Adams, Clint Capella. Rudy Gobert. You know, people say the big man game is dead. He's a very good player. Is he an all-star caliber player? Probably not. Beard, though, chef kiss. Lovely beard. Great beard. Great head of hair. Great tattoos. Good dude. I don't know if he's a good dude. I'm guessing he is. By what? Not much. I think we got one more question today on Rapid Fire Friday. We're getting through a bunch for this show. Dan Goodman says, yo, why can't I dunk? Dan, I think it's a lack of power in your legs. You know, if you just want to dunk, you need 2 things. You need explosive athleticism, and you need hands that are big enough to palm a ball, or such explosive athleticism that you are way over the rim. Dan, I know you. You're not that tall of a guy. You seem to be in pretty good shape, though. Here's a tip. The most explosive athletes, they're not NBA players. You know, NBA players have the reputation of jumping really high, but they're more graceful athletes. They certainly jump high, but the athletes with the highest vertical leaps, actually football players, because they generate the most force, because they're just that strong. So if you just want to dunk, if you're not going for like a basketball physique, if you just want to get up in the air high enough to dunk, just do squats and deadlifts until you can't move. Just start doing that. Work the core, work the legs, the glutes. The glutes are very important. Work the hips. You need hip drive. But work out like a football player. And then you're going to have that explosive force to just get off the ground high enough to dunk. That's my tip to you, Dan. That's my dunking tip. Because if that's all you care about, if you don't care about the grace, all that goes along with it. If you just want to slam the fuck a dunk, then just get football shape. Talk to Pete Kemple. He'll let you know. Shout out to Pete Kemple and Dan Goodman and everybody else who asked questions today. That's the show. Thank you so much for listening. This is the first ever Rapid Fire Friday, where I go through questions really fast and answer them sort of fast. Thank you guys for listening. We'll be back next week with another round of answers for your NBA-related questions. I really appreciate it. Keep listening. Keep the questions coming. Keep having a good time. Keep watching the NBA. And keep being friends. That's the most important thing. Thank you guys so much. Goodbye.